Well, just like the liberal girls crying on TikTok, the liberal late night hosts, Jimmy Kimmel, Jimmy Fallon, Seth Meyers, Stephen Colbert, basically cried for an hour last night. Instead of doing comedy, which of course is their job, they are paid a lot of money to make America laugh, right? People would put away their politics for the day and their tough day at work, and they'd sit down and watch Johnny Carson, and they knew that it was going to be a funny night, and they knew that they were going to laugh.
Yeah, they suck at that.
They're really bad at this. They're not funny at all anymore. Jimmy Kimmel, who's the worst of them all, called Trump a dictator, called him a little man, called him authoritarian, all of the names you could think of, was the worst of the bunch. He kept fighting back tears the whole show last night. He called election night the worst Taco Tuesday of his whole life. Watch.
Let's be honest, it was a terrible night last night. It was a terrible night for women, for children, for the hundreds of thousands of hardworking immigrants who make this country go, for healthcare, for our climate, for science, for journalism, for justice, for free speech. It was a terrible night for poor people, for the middle class, for seniors who rely on Social Security, for our allies in Ukraine, for NATO, for the truth and democracy and decency. And it was a terrible night for everyone who voted against him. And guess what? It was a bad night for everyone who voted for him, too. You just don't realize it yet.
You're too stupid to know what your vote represented.
He needs to turn in his man show card.
Yeah. It was a terrible night for journalism.
Imagine crying over NATO.
It was a terrible night for NATO, the world's greatest aggressor. Like you're crying over NATO. You're crying. What we just told you about what's about to happen in Ukraine. This war is about to end in Ukraine. So you're crying over. Well, who are you crying over? Because hundreds of thousands of Ukrainians have died.
This war I've been enjoying so much is going to come to an end.
This was my favorite show. Piece of shit. You warmongering piece of shit. You're really upset about it.
It's like Game of Thrones ending for him. That's so sad. It's been a fun war.
A tissue for Jimmy Kimmel.
Yeah, you can have that.
I'm just so sad. I'm so sad. I'm
also,
so sad for the ending of wars right now. I just don't. I want wars to continue. I'm so sad for all the journalists.
Yeah. I would like to let you know that as journalists during the Biden administration, we have been living through a hell on this show. We are constantly punished for real journalism.
Oh, yeah.
So
we're constantly
his
banned
kind
and blocked.
of journalism, his kind of government propaganda journalism is at stake here. It's not real journalists.
He's sad for women. I don't know if he knows.
I don't want this.
But women voted overwhelmingly for Trump. The women who were supposed to come out and vote for Democrats didn't. They didn't vote for Kamala Harris. They didn't vote for her. Women voted for Trump. So what is he so upset about? Well, this has gone viral, of course, and the social media responses are amazing. Watch this young black man really lay into Jimmy Kimmel for his lies. Watch.
A terrible night for women, for children, for the hundreds of thousands of hardworking immigrants, for healthcare, for our climate, for science, justice, for free speech, for poor people, for the middle class.
Let's address some of this nonsense being spewed out of the mouth from the man who thought that people who were unjabbed shouldn't get hospital beds and should just be left to die, and who's now pretending to care about healthcare and science. Speaking of science and protecting women, hey Jimmy, I need you to define woman, because how can we protect a woman if we can't even define what one is? I have a wife, 3 daughters, a mother, a sister, and they all support Trump. And they're overjoyed about Trump being elected because they know he's going to protect them from criminals coming across our border to harm them, from men being allowed in their sports and restrooms, and be a protector of children, even those coming across the border, unlike Kamala and Biden. You also made the ridiculous claim that it was a terrible night for free speech. Have you not been living on social media or in America the last 4 years? Have you not seen the censorship that's taking place across all these platforms, conservatives getting banned left and right for speaking the truth?
Yeah. So I wonder if Jimmy Kimmel will watch that, or he's just going to live in his little echo chamber.
No, he'll live in his little echo chamber.
Yeah. Cyber criminals targeting people and businesses by exploiting vulnerabilities in everyday tools that we use, like email, social media messengers, free cloud storage, as well as weak passwords. In fact, in the last couple of months, there have been two major breaches that probably affected you. There was the breach at AT&T, which exposed all of those text message logs, and it affected every AT&T customer. Also, what about the National Public Data breach for Social Security numbers? Yeah, the Social Security Administration admitted that. So that's where the people at Bunker are helping you. It's an affordable, all-in-one app protecting you against identity theft, cybercrime, and surveillance. And guess what? You can get your Bunker application for $12 annually. That's right. Why pay several different apps when you can get yourself for $12 annually protected with Bunker? Right now, you can use the code Redacted to get your first year for free. Just go to bunker.life and use the code Redacted. You can download it on the iOS App Store or on the Google Play Store, and you get, just by using that code Redacted, you get your first year for free. So our thanks to them for supporting the show.